What are people slowly starting to forget? How much time and energy goes into making the stuff all around you. Everybody knows exactly how a pencil works, but no one can create a normal pencil by himself. There's an excellent take on this in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Dude is suddenly planted on a primitive planet. He speaks to the local people about wonders beyond their imagination. Of electricity, of carriages drawn by their own power, of guns, of HVAC systems, pens, synthetic fabrics etc etc. The local people then ask him how. How can we have all this? And he realizes. Holy shit, he has no clue how any of that shit works. He can't design a refrigerator. Or a power plant. He can't even innovate their methods for cleaning water because he took all that shit for granted. So, he thinks hard. How can he innovate? What does he really understand on a useful level that could change their life? Well, turns out, the one thing he can do that they can't get enough of is making sandwiches. Thin sliced meat layered on sliced bread is the most exciting damn thing they've ever seen. So ask yourself, if you were dropped into a primitive society, what could you really show them? What do you really understand? If the answer is nothing, get really good at layering ingredients. Teach germ theory. If they have alcohol, teach sanitation. That people cough for other reasons too. Editing. Wow, many thanks to the kind people who gave me my first gold and silver award and all the other kind messages. As someone with allergies, I don't think people realize it's allergy season, so there's no reason to give me dirty looks when I sneeze. Edit. I'm getting a lot of replies telling me to wear a mask because then people wouldn't worry and I look responsible. I don't know what made people assume I don't wear one, but my allergies don't really go away when I wear a mask lol. I was under the impression that cover doesn't make you sneeze in the first place. Panama Papers. When to own something you had to pay only once. Now almost everything is subscription based, requires paid upgrades, DLC, plugins and so on. Just looked at buying a treadmill for cold weather and stormy days, and what do you know? Almost all the brands available in brick and mortar stores require subscriptions before you can turn them on for the first time. $180/E for the privilege of operating a $1,200 machine in my own dwelling. It's not even about software anymore, even physical goods are subject to this. You own something for a few years, and then new update bricks it time to buy a newer version. No kidding. I just recently had to reactivate my Office 365 because on my Mac, it wouldn't even allow me to even use anything. I just wanted to make some edits to my wife's resume and I couldn't even do that. Wouldn't allow it. So sometime this month I'll pony up $99 for the annual subscription. I'm old enough, even though I'm still young, to remember when Office was standard with your computer, then it turned into having just the trial version, which still allowed you to do the basics. This subscription stuff is for the birds. World War I. No veterans left and overshadowed by WW2. On a similar note, the Korean War. Overshadowed by Vietnam, although there are still veterans alive. MASH made it remembered. Most of the world, since World War I, has been fallout from WW1. WW2, Soviet Union, Middle East chaos, all basically traced back to WW1. Also the rise of America, which was prior to that seen as a bit of a backwater. Literally the Wild West was happening. History teacher here. As a final exam question in my honors history class, I asked students to explain how the assassination of Franz Ferdinand caused 9/11. I get some really interesting answers. Neighbors. In the late 90s our neighborhood used to have block parties, where someone would have a big BBQ and everyone would come hang out and have a good time. I was pretty young at the time, I don't know who hosted or organized this, but now nobody talks to anyone. Edit. It was in a suburb BTW. I'm not sure if people ever did those outside of suburbs. I talked to my neighbor once. He seemed like a nice dude. That was 3 years ago. He's probably still a nice dude. Would you say you still never talk sometimes? I didn't realize till now block parties just stopped out of nowhere. I grew up in the suburbs and all summer long there were block parties all over town. I feel like around age 12 they just stopped completely. That the US had the longest government shutdown not that long ago. I actually did forget that. As a federal employee, I have not forgotten. The clowns with knives of 2016. Do we even know what that was all actually about? I heard it was supposed to be an independent movie being made or something. I also wonder if it was just a prank that people kept copying over and over. People did turn into a prank, and I read and watched many being taken too far. Over in my country though many clowns kept chickening out because fight modes kicked in. It was hilarious to watch a tiny lady beat a creepy clown with her purse lad. However, I read that some clowns took this a step further by jumping unsuspecting people late at night and physically assaulting them for laughs. Was it in 2016? Dude, though it was last year, seriously. What a world war is really like. The Patriot Act allows the government to take everything of yours without charge and lock you up indefinitely, as long as they deem it a national security issue without any proof. National security meaning whatever the hell they want it to mean. National security is the card countries play when humans' rights need to be violated legally. People forgot about the Patriot Act so quickly that they were surprised when Snowden revealed what we basically already knew the government was doing through the Patriot Act. And now Snowden is an afterthought. That Reddit is just another social media platform susceptible to misinformation, full of ignorant, corruptible and misguided people. Edit. Wow, just woke up and found my first ever awards. Thanks strangers, but I only reflect and repeat wisdom of people wiser than me. How the US Constitution works and how much power the people are truly supposed to hold. Edit. Thank you everyone for the civil conversation, nearly 11k upvotes, and 5 awards. People really should read the Constitution. Before even getting to the Bill of Rights, they should read about the federal offices in Article 1 and why they exist. Also, how little power the president actually has compared to Congress. Phone numbers. When's the last time you actually memorized one? 01189988199911972253. For the uninitiated link. The long pause before the 3 gets me every time. Removed. 867, 513. The Las Vegas shooter's motive was never revealed. I think people forget about the shooting itself. Being the deadliest mass shooting in US history, it got like a week or 2 of coverage and talk from everybody, and then it was like it was just swept under the rug and you didn't hear anything about it anymore. I'm a criminology student and I just did a paper about him this semester. The truly unique thing about Stephen Paddock versus the mass shooters we've had recently, Columbine, Anders Breivik, James Holmes, is that he was an extremely private individual. He didn't have manifesto, he didn't have social media profiles linked to hate groups, and he didn't have any known radical beliefs. But, like most mass shooters, he was suspected to have some sort of mental illness that exacerbated the acute stress he was experiencing, financial difficulties, failing health. He steadfastly refused to discuss his mental health with his physician, who suspected he had bipolar. While he had some psychopathic traits, lack empathy, shallow affect, manipulative behavior, he didn't have any of the superficial charm/glibness that is so central to the diagnosis. Some professionals have suggested alexithymia, others have suggested bipolar. Psychopathy has been shown to have a genetic component, and his father was a lifelong criminal who, diagnosed with psychopathy, was on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list for 8 years, a very long time for that list. His brother Bruce has been arrested for various offenses, vandalism, possession of child pornography, assault, and is also mentally ill. Eric, who was most forthcoming to the press, also shows signs of a personality disorder. Bruce claims he's a psychopath as well, but he is, at best, unreliable as a source. It's very interesting to watch Eric's interviews, because if you spend time analyzing them, you'll start to see a pattern among all the brothers. They're also one of the central sources of information, particularly of his early years. Not much information has been found about his mother, who has largely remained silent. What we do know is that he had a pathological need for control. With his health failing and running into some financial trouble, he felt out of control and was trying to regain it, a trauma control cycle that is often seen in serial killers and mass murderers. It could be that he was trying to outdo his father, who had a record for longest on the FBI's most wanted list. No doubt his choice were influenced by the shooters that came before him. Netflix, that would arrive in the mail. They still offer that service though. Are you serious? I have Netflix, and I had no idea. Democracy isn't a given. Even when you're told you have it, it's not a given you actually do. That a massive Boeing jet with 239 people on board disappeared, and we still don't really know WTF happened. Edit. Easily the highest upvoted comment I've had. I was halfway joking with my post, but honestly for me it just really solidified just how much fucking ocean our earth is. The Malaysian flight. Oh man. They even looked in the wrong ocean. The wrong ocean. Edit. Did not expect my highest rated comment to be based off a Kathleen Madigan reference. I'm not surprised, but I still didn't see it coming. Cheers, folks. Others past embarrassments, even though we still hold on to ours. Now I don't forget the guy who farted in the quiet zone of the library. It happens and I feel for him, but I still remember. Amazon rainforest getting messed up really bad. Don't forget the genocide on the natives to free their land for illegal deforestation, farms, and mines. That a government should fear its people, not the other way around. Politicians need to be reminded that they work for us, not the other way around. The fires in Australia. That wasn't that long ago, but it feels like 10 years. This whole year has felt like 10 years and it's only May. Perception of time slows with the more unique experiences you have. This year has been crazy and full of uncertainty, whereas past years might have flown by because every day wasn't all that unique.